Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's Hippin here, just bringing you another video, this time talking about the almighty and all-powerful Steam Deck. Now, I have owned this beautiful piece of gaming equipment for a little over a year now, and I absolutely do not regret a thing when I bought this. I remember being on the fence for the longest time until one day one of my coworkers finally brought his Steam Deck in, and then I was instantly sold. At one point, I would even go as far as saying that this was probably one of my favorite consoles of all time because of what this thing was capable of. As time has progressed and my time with this thing is aging, there is just one problem that has presented itself that I just can't look past. Before I get into that, I need to glaze this thing up a little bit because this thing is an absolute powerhouse and has been nothing short of amazing for me. Like I said, I've been on the fence for the longest time because I needed something to help me tackle my big long list of backlog gaming. Like me, I'm sure most of you have like a big long list of backlog gaming that you're having to struggle tackling because you're probably, if you're anything like me, you're always going back to those older games like Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Call of Duty, or you just go back to the old classics like Skyrim or something. I don't know. Maybe you have the same problem like I do. I don't know. So eventually you grow this big long list of backlog gaming and the Steam Deck just becomes perfect to tackle that for you. Most of my games being AAA, I kind of needed something that can handle a big load, something like big graphics. And this thing has been able to do just that for me. Since I've owned this thing, I've been able to beat South Park: The Stick of Truth, Batman: Arkham Asylum, Fallout 3, and I'm currently on my first playthrough of Elden Ring, and the game looks freaking phenomenal. Indie games look beautiful as well, with Terraria being one of the first games I played, of course, because I'm a big fan of Terraria. Then I also went and played some other classics like Potato, Balatro, Power World, Vampire Survivors, and I'm really looking forward to playing Core Keeper in the future because I've heard nothing but great things about that game, and I've heard it looks phenomenal on the Steam Deck as well. But then I started to discover more features on the Steam Deck like Decky, where you can customize your startup screen to be loading screens of older consoles that used to be nostalgic to you, like the GameCube, the PS2, or the Xbox, for example. One of the coolest features I discovered was EmuDeck and the capabilities this thing has in emulation just in general. This basically changed everything for me for the Steam Deck. At long last, my childhood dream of being able to play Gauntlet Dark Legacy or Tony Hawk's Underground 2 on the toilet or on the go has finally become a reality. Quickly beat both of those games and then started immediately seeking other games that had that same nostalgic factor for me, like Sonic Riders or Shrek on the Xbox. Pokemon Gale of Darkness, old GTA games, God of Wars, Star Wars Legos, all of those great games I used to play as a kid, I had to have them on the Steam Deck because I got rid of them. I started downloading games on the Nintendo 64, the NES, the Super Nintendo, the GameCube, the PSP, the PS1, the PS2, the Xbox, Game Boy, the DS. Pretty much anything that I could get my hands on, I was just downloading it. I was downloading games I never played before, games that I used to play with my grandma when I was a kid, or games that I always wanted to play as a kid but my parents just never bought for me. Basically, I was just becoming addicted to just downloading these games, and I was having more enjoyment just downloading them and getting these games on my Steam Deck than actually playing them. It was right around that same time you start to read situations like Nintendo taking down or going after emulators like Yuzu or Ryujinx and successfully taking them down. And then you also have Sony on the other hand with customers who have also bought digital movies in the past, and all of a sudden Sony just decided to stop supporting that service and you no longer have ownership of those movies. And then it finally started to hit me after all those YouTube videos and all the people telling me that you don't own digital media and the Don't Kill Games movement, you really don't own your digital media at all. Adding with my new obsession with emulation and older games that bring that nostalgic factor to me, I started to ask myself, why am I not going out and actually collecting these games and collecting the physical copies for myself? And so I did. I went and grabbed my Pokemon trainer's hat and I set out on my journey. I've been hitting up my local game stores, thrift stores. I went to pawn shops. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace, looking on eBay, looking basically at any place and anywhere that sells video games. I didn't know this until I was game collecting, but apparently Goodwill, they have an auction site that you can go off and place a bid on video games, and sometimes you can get a really good deal on games. That's how I ended up actually getting one of my OG Xboxes, through the Goodwill auction website. I even started working 2 jobs because more money equals more games, right? And I'm also trying to save up for a new house, and in today's economy, it's really rough out here for a gamer, alright? But with this new game collecting hobby of mine, it brought up a new issue that I have with the Steam Deck that I probably would have never thought of previously. And obviously this is going to be subjective, but the Steam Deck doesn't take any physical games. Now, I know this is Steam, and this is the Steam Deck, and they've never released any physical games, at least to my knowledge, and I don't think they plan on doing that for the future, although that would be cool if they did do that, but that's not why I'm making this video. But coming from a self-proclaimed game collector like myself, I sometimes have a hard time going out and buying digital games that are the same price as a physical game, because there is absolutely no reason that a digital game should be the same price as a physical game, and that's a hill that I'm willing to die on. So over the last couple of weeks, one of my favorite game series, Civilization Revolution, came out with a new game, Civilization 7, and if you would have asked me a couple months ago what I was planning on buying this for, it was going to be the Steam Deck. I don't own a current gen Xbox, I don't own a current gen PlayStation, and so the only other option I had was Steam Deck or the Switch. But as times have changed, like I said, I now own it physically for the Switch. Now, there's no denying that I would have enjoyed this game more on the Steam Deck with the bigger OLED screen, the trackpads, the better performance, but owning this game physically means much more to me, and that's something that I'm willing to sacrifice, and I'm glad that I did. And obviously, I can always emulate the Switch games on the Steam Deck, and that's always a possibility, but that's something that I really just don't want to really put the effort into right now. And I would rather just play it on the Switch, and I know the performance is just kind of boopy, but I am looking forward to the Switch 2, and I'm hoping that with the Switch 2, the performance kind of improves over time with that game. And it's something I'm really looking forward to. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you would have asked me what my favorite console of all time was, I probably would have answered the Steam Deck. Now, I would have to say it's a toss-up between the Switch and the Steam Deck, just because what these consoles have done for the handheld genre in general. They both had made great innovations, and I'm really looking forward to the future to see what is in store for us, really, because these consoles are amazing, both the Steam Deck and the Switch. Like the Switch 2, for example. I'm really looking forward to the Switch 2, and as a deck owner, it's kind of surprising, but yeah, I'm going to buy the Switch 2, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm totally not counting down the days for when that console comes out. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening to me yap for a little bit. And maybe if you like this content, maybe go check out my latest video talking about the Game Boy in 2025. I'd really appreciate if you go check out that video. Please leave a like, comment, let me know what games you're playing on this Steam Deck, and maybe drop a sub. I'm almost to 100 subscribers, and any help helps, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.